When I tell you my sh don't stink, you know what can I say?
These are dream rules. This is someone else. I'm not myself. No, no. We're slowing up high, got no clue. How do I know what I mean to you? Yeah. Say it out loud, spill the truth. Tell me how I'm gonna get close to you. Yeah.
Hey girl, how you been? It's been a minute. What y'all been up to? As you can see, I just came back from shopping, went to Sam's Club. And I know I bought these before, and I could have sworn there were 10 in the box. Now it's 8. I'm gonna have to check because I might be tripping. And this one was, I think this was 20. Yeah, it was like $19.99, and you get 20 sandwiches. I'm lying. You get 10 sandwiches. I'm tired too. But anyway, you get 10 sandwiches in here. So $2 a pop basically is not bad. But I'll tell you what, they do sneak stuff in on us, like that 5-pound bag of sugar. Yes, I'm still on it. I know it's been 4 pounds of sugar for years, but I'm still on it. Because I have issues. I do. I don't like being ripped off. It's just bothersome, but I'm pretty sure. About a little wine and my flowers. Nothing different. Same old white flowers. Those Sam's Club flowers, I don't know what they've been doing to them, but they've been lasting longer. It used to be I felt like I always had to go to Trader Joe's. Not really. Not really anymore. Put that on my little sparse wine rack. And you know what else is different? The chicken. Because I walked right past it. At first I was like, where are the chicken wings? Where are the chicken wings? They look like this now. But when I looked at it, I liked it more. Because, you know, I'm a single girl. And see how they got it packaged up? They got it in 4 little sections and it's perforated. See, like now, I already took one off. So I don't feel like, ooh, I almost ripped off another one. But I don't feel like I gotta wash all the chicken, separate all the chicken, and then freeze all the chicken and worry about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just one less thing. I like that. So now I get my little individual packages. It's probably only, what, 3 wings in each. So if I really want to do something like meal prepping, I can do 2 of them at a time. I'm in my seriously make it convenient phase. I don't know, is it seriously convenient or have I just gotten lazy? Because I bought all that stuff from Target that you all saw, and I feel like y'all are so crooked. I was about to say I'm not used to this angle. How about I ain't used to doing it because I ain't done it in a while? It's been some months, and I don't even have a legit excuse. What have I been doing? Just regular schmegular life. You know, like, it's been so long, child. I done had a birthday. Loving the 50 plus club, especially the way I'm doing it now. I feel like I'm 50 and 20 at the same time. Like, you know, because I don't have the I don't even have a dog. I don't have, like, it's just me. But yeah, put my little roses in some water. And they're fragrant too. They really are. They're very fragrant. I like that. My only complaint is today they didn't have any baby's breaths. So I'm not really into the whole big floral arrangement. I pretty much just let the flowers be the arrangement. Years ago I kind of toyed with it, and sometimes I still like to play. But for the most part, no. It's just open it up and put them in kind of thing. I do thin out some of the leaves though. I don't like so many leaves. Well, I'm lying. I don't like so many leaves when they're long stem, but if they're short, I do. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That's what it is. Y'all are just so in. Maybe I need to zoom out. I'm telling you, I'm out of practice. There, I feel like that's a little better, but I don't know, maybe I'm just really tripping. It's been too long. And it has, and like I was saying, nothing really going on with me. Celebrated a birthday, and I celebrated just by going on a simple little solo trip to Miami. I was like, let me just change the climate a little bit. It was a little chilly, nippy then. Shoot, it's chilly and nippy now. It is actually and officially May, and as I speak, I'm wearing like my faux leather leggings, a long sleeve shirt, shoes, like you would not know. To look at me, you would not know it's May, but I'm dressed for the weather that I am. It's been rainy, it's been cold, it's rainy for real. Like, I swear, if I see the animals 2 by 2, I'm gonna start praying much harder than I've been doing. But it's been something. There we go, just thinning it out a little bit. Like I said, not really into the arranging. I like it leafy, but not super leafy. I do wish they had some baby spruce. I'd break it up with that a little bit. And some other flowers. Don't even get me to try the lilac. I know how to name the flowers. The white ones. Some more white flowers. How about that? Yeah, and this honestly is all I want to do with that. I just want something sticking out in every direction. I love it like when I just roll over a little bit and get a whiff of it. And it's funny because even in my dreamy state, I can kind of smell the flowers enough to know that, yeah, I'm smelling roses. Not quite enough to wake up, and if anything, it actually makes me go in to a deeper sleep. It's weird. Because I know they say lavender does that. I wonder if there's a study on roses and whether or not they do it, but it's just relaxing. And it just feels good to get them. Even if I get them for myself. Put these in my bedroom. And you know what, y'all? While I was out, it's kind of weird. And I hope I don't sound bad saying this. I don't want to sound the way that I'm not, but I also don't want to just not address it. But while I was out, this guy approached me, and it was a white guy. And so just to give you a little bit of background, I have gone out with mixed men, like dated mixed men. I've gone on one date with a white guy. And I swear, I feel like in most aspects of my life, I feel like I'm a healed person from a whole lot of things, whether it's bad friendships or bad relationships or bad family members. I feel like I'm really a well-adjusted and healed person, but there's that little caveat that but when it comes to dating white guys. And so the thing is, I had gone out on the one date I went on, like I'm an expert, but anyway. And let me just say this, I feel like dating outside of your race in general is fine, but specific for me, this is where I feel like I have the hang up. Because, and maybe I'm just a little scarred and I'm not as healed as I thought, but just to give you a little more background, I went to a majority white high school, graduated from a majority white high school anyway. And so, it's not like I'm not used to being around a lot of others. I also went to a typical college, not a HBCU. Wanted to go to one, but a whole lot of family history and drama and all of that prevented that. But anyway, so years later, after graduating, during the brief period when I was single, I ran into one of my old classmates, white guy. And he was like, I'd like to go out with you, da 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 da. I didn't have any real reason not to. I was kind of like, yeah, plus he's familiar. Okay, cool. So I agreed, we went on a date, and why was he telling me that he had a crush on me back in high school, blah, blah, blah. And he literally, I believe him because he started naming some specific incidents and things that I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. I did go there. I did hang out with this person. Like, he was very detailed about some of the things that he knew about me. So I was like, okay, maybe he did have a crush. And so fast forward through the conversation, we're talking, and as it turns out, he had been married for a number of years and all of that. He married a white woman, and at some point, he goes through the thing of saying that it was what his father would have expected, and it's basically what his whole family expected. But even though he grew up in a family that was like that. He said, I wouldn't say that they were racist, but they had their idea of who they wanted me to be with and things like that. And just to kind of get along, I went ahead and went along, with the program or whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay. But he's telling me all the while I've always, excuse me, all the while I've always preferred Black women. And he said, anytime that I stepped outside of my marriage, just the few times I did or whatever, but it was always with a Black woman. And he said, in the end, that just really was the undoing, and that's kind of what he thinks he wanted anyway. So now, his father has passed away, he's his own person, made his own money, and now he's just going to, out in the open, go for what he wants. And for some reason, I heard a hint of, well, maybe I didn't hear it, but I felt a hint of fetishizing. I was kind of like, is he fetishizing? That just kind of felt weird. It was just giving me weird vibes, period. But then also, I don't know what he thought he said, but what I heard was, you're an adept liar. Like, you lived your own life as a lie. So you're absolutely not going to have a problem with lying to me. And I mean, if that was the case, and it wasn't that much cheating or whatever, as he tried to put it, why didn't you just have an affair with one Black woman? Like, why didn't you meet that person who was your soulmate or whatever and just cheat with one? Why did you cheat with a series of Black women? Because I'm first of all, why'd you even cheat? But it's like, it was so, anyway, I say all of that to say that now when a man approaches me or whatever, a white man approaches me, it just feels questionable. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But do I need to be healed? Do you see where I'm coming from? Like, am I tripping? Or, so, is it just him that's wrong? Is it me feeling like, there's this fetishizing? Am I the wrong party? Like, and I know it's just like, girl, me and this 30-inch hair. I tell you, it was a good idea. And I actually even like it, but it's like everywhere I move, it moves too. It has gotten caught on my bracelet, caught on my watch. Like, so now, anyway, but I like it. I installed it myself and look, even as I'm talking about it, it was hooked on my nail. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe I need to heal, maybe I need to whatever. It's okay to have preferences, and I can say that I have preferences, but my preference is to be treated well. And so far, most of my relationships have been with Black men, and they haven't always treated me well. So I feel like, although I will say, that's the funniest thing, like, even though they haven't, like, specifically speaking, there have been incidents of cheating, there's been incidents of just what I would say emotional immaturity that didn't allow them to treat me the best that they should have, or didn't allow them to see beyond themselves to treat me in a way that they would want to be treated, or they would want their mother to be treated if they had a good relationship with their mother, things like that. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, I just prefer Black men. If I had to say what I think is most handsome, yeah, I do like, richly melanated men. I will say that. But I'm also not a person who strictly dates men based on looks. I just don't. It's like, that's just not enough. I have seen so many people, for that matter, I can look at a woman and tell that she is attractive and not be attracted. But I have seen so many men who were attractive and I haven't been attracted, especially once they open their mouth, or especially once they start navigating and moving a certain way. So that's definitely not it. It's not a looks thing. It's a greater concern for me, honestly, of fetishizing. And I don't know if that's more in my head, if that one incident scarred me. I don't know about that. But anyway, that's what type of time I'm on today. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm all off on a weird little tangent, but anywho, what a way to come back. But hey, if you're not familiar, this is what I do. I streamline my thoughts and show my life as I'm living it. Anyway, if this is something you like, go ahead, click the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button as it gives me encouragement. Child, I'm needing some encouragement. I tell you, I have in so many ways tried to come back, tried to film, seen stuff, and thought, oh, I've got a comment on it, because you know I got opinions. If you don't know that, that's another thing about me. I got a ton of opinions. But I have filmed this clip or that one, and I don't even know what happened. It's like once you get out of the habit, you're just out of the habit. And that's the craziest thing, because if I'm being really honest, I enjoy filming. I enjoy interacting. I even like editing to some degree. I know a lot of people absolutely hate it, but I even like editing to some degree. Once I started getting into the flow and stopped being so hypercritical of, oh my gosh, this piece of hair is out, or this. Once I got past that, I liked it more. So I don't really even have a reason other than I've just been kind of lazy. Like I said, I went to Target, full on did a whole little Target thing, and I don't know, I might even want to blame online shopping, because it can't be my fault, right? It's not just on me. But I don't know what it is. I'm looking at stuff and just not in the mood to try anything on. And I blamed it on my outfit. So I got on these leather looking leggings, tie-up shoes, and my little shirt that I actually got from Target too, and a bodysuit. And I'm like, dude, I feel like taking all this off, putting it back on, because I shopped for shoes, I was looking for some space or something, because it was my intention to lose weight, but that ain't go too well. So you know how they say summer bodies are built in the spring. We don't have to expedite it and work on it, or just accept it the way it is. I don't know which one it's gonna be. But, so I was looking for some, I shopped all over that doggone store. I shopped everywhere but the grocery aisle, I will say that. I just saw some cute little glasses. I'll probably have to go back and get those glasses. I probably will, yeah. But anyway, didn't want to shop. I said, oh, okay, we're gonna have to try it all on at home. And then if it doesn't fit, we'll just run it back, which is more cumbersome. But I feel like with the popularity of online shopping, the try-on is just trying inside the little cubicles, and I don't know. I don't have an excuse. I was lazy. That's what I was lazy. Tell the truth, shame devil. But anyway, we'll try it on. I'll probably end up doing some kind of little try-on haul. I didn't buy a whole heck of a lot, just a few little pieces that I think will be ideal for the summer. I think in my mind they're gonna be cute, but you never know until you put them on, try them on. And I cannot believe how much jeans and stuff cost now. And not even the good old thick 90s quality jean. They call them 90s style because you put that 90s quality in there. Because some of them jeans, like back in the day, wearing flat out jeans in the summertime, baby, you still get hot. These jeans now, in the wintertime, baby, you don't get cold. And that's not how jeans work to me. But anyway, whatever. I'm blabbing. Let me shut up blabbing and move on with the moving on. I don't know what else I'm finna do, but I need to do something. Good Monday morning. We are on our way to the W2 and feeling better than any Monday in a while. Why? Because we are down to the final days. Yes. And I'm really going to miss the children. Yes. But it's a good miss. Some of the kids were like, what are we gonna do all summer? Not my business. What if we forget what you told us? I tried my best. Baby, there's nothing they can say right now to bring me down from the countdown. No. And one of my colleagues asked me if I wanted to work summer school with her. Baby, it was like they had a no button right in front of me, and I couldn't even press it because I was like, I see the no, but where's the hell? Oh no, baby, I can't talk me into it. Can't. Yes, that summer check is mighty fine, but like my grandmama told me years ago, all money ain't good money. Sometimes you just need the relaxing and rest a little bit more than the check. Because another good thing about going in rested and refreshed is, you're just ready for that new year. I'm sure you guys know, what's going on in the teaching industry in terms of there being a teacher shortage. And so it feels good when you're working at a stride, a great level, that is really well matched for you. You're working with admin who appreciates your skill level and understands that you're where you ought to be, because it hasn't always been that way. You know, I have moved around a little bit in terms of different schools or districts, and you know, I can tell you it's been times where, you know, I had story time, I guess, but I was working and I had an admin who just didn't have an appreciation for that. Like, those are some of the things that go into the teacher shortage. I'd heard some of the other teachers talking and they were saying, oh, this grade is secure, none of those teachers are moving, that grade is secure. Let me just give you some more numbers. So it was like they had said kindergarten, third and fourth grade are remaining in their place. We already got word of that. And they were literally, that was the crazy part too. They were literally verifying it with each other. You heard her say that. You heard her say that, right? Because she is such a freaking liar. They ain't say freaking either. But she is such a freaking liar, that referring to admin, that we have to, you know, get each other's backs on that. And so I walk in, I'm overhearing the conversation as they had it. And I thought, wait a minute, kindergarten, what grades did I say? Kindergarten, third and fourth. Oh, okay, but that's not my grade. And at the time, let's say I was teaching second grade. I was like, oh, that's not my grade. But anyway, if she's telling them where people are going to be assigned, let me get in on that. So I requested a meeting with the principal, and I was like, hey, so what do you have in mind for me next year? Oh, I don't know. Nobody knows their grades until the next to the last day of school. Look me dead in my face, bald face lie. So I'm trying to give her a hint, like, that ain't what them heifers was saying in the lounge, you know, clearly, you know. I said, really? Because I got wind that another teacher might be moving down into a lower grade. And see, with that fifth grade teacher moving down, like I said, a lot of times people get the idea, oh, I'm going to put a stronger teacher up there to kind of maintain the discipline. So I was like, wait a minute, is that what she got in mind? And so I'm, you know, lobbing little hints and clues to her, like, honey, if you think you're keeping this a secret, you're not. They're already talking about it. I just want to know my assignment. She just continued to bald-face lie. And anyway, long story short, I just reached a point of, oh, okay, I was trying to give you the respect that your position deserves. But you know what? Let me go ahead and give you the respect that you deserve, the respect that you've now earned for just bald-faced lying. Like, you don't do no funky mess like that. Somebody's talking to you about their career and you're just sitting there telling lies. Like, you know, I ain't asked you if you like my hairdo, honey. This is, we're talking about career. Grow up. But whatever. Anywho, I'm pulling up to the W2, so I shall talk with you all later, probably inside. Okay, getting settled in. I've already checked a couple of emails and all that stuff, but I thought I'd turn on the camera and finish the point that I was making earlier. It's one of those scenarios where I remember a few years ago, and maybe even still, people used to say, oh, I match energy, I match energy. I'm not a person who does that. I'm one of those people, hey, I'm going to extend to you the courtesy that I would like to receive, and then what you do with that thereafter, earn my respect, not earn my respect, things like that, that's up to you. And I think that's a fairer thing. I think when people start talking about matching energy, I receive a lot of kids in a day. In fact, in the mornings, as kids are walking by, I'm greeting them. Some of them have good energy, high energy, love on that. And then others have not so great energy. You know, some kids, I would dare to say, even come in already angry and upset. And so if I was matching that kind of energy, I mean, can you imagine how my emotions would be throughout a day? See, at the end of the day, I just care far too much about the preservation of my energy to go around matching other people's. Like, I don't have that many personalities to match the energy of all the people I meet. And so, you know, in the case of that admin that I was talking about some time ago, it was a deal where at that time, she was a fairly new administrator, and I felt like people were kind of hard on her unnecessarily, not granting the grace that they themselves would have liked to receive. And so, that being the case, I kind of stuck my neck out as they were talking about, oh, she's such a flippin' liar. She's a liar, this, that, and another. Remember how so-and-so said, you know, and so they were kind of verifying amongst themselves. And they were also talking about, they made it sound like it was okay to be disrespectful because I guess one of the teachers had gotten upset with her and screamed at her at the top of her lungs. And, it was just all this foolery that they were saying. And like I said, me sticking my neck out, I was like, well, I haven't known that person to be a liar. And then I had a meeting with her and realized, oh, okay, I was the one that was wrong. Them heifers was right. But that still doesn't mean I'm disrespectful or things like that when I meet people or encounter people like that. I mean, goodness knows. That administrator probably being one of the people, but I have encountered many people like if you put the truth on the tip of their tongue, they could not spit the truth out. Like you just know and accept, oh, okay, this person is probably lying because their lips are moving, and you keep it moving. I don't match that. I'm a lie too. I'm a this too. No, I just can't be bothered. I'll probably cut conversations short. I certainly wouldn't stick my neck out for a person like that again, but I just kind of wanted to go back and finish that point before I get into all of my work and stuff. For me, it's not about matching energy. It's about receiving a person in the way that you would want to be received. Oh, okay, this person just flat out lied to me. And how do you know that they lied? Well, I mean, if what they said was true, if what the administrator said was true, then no one would have been talking about the positions they knew. But as it turned out, coincidence is a word for a reason. So perhaps coincidentally, the 10 teachers they mentioned being placed in a certain grade level were actually placed there. But that's a heck of a coincidence. I'm a person who gives benefit of the doubt. I'm not a fool. You know what I mean? So you just accept things like that. And then when the opportunity presents itself, you move on. But you don't, or at least I don't, bother to try to match energy, honey. No. How does that saying go? If I can't change the people around me, then I change the people around me. I move on. And hence the reason I've gone to different places. Are you going to encounter some of that everywhere you go? Absolutely. There's some of that messiness no matter where you go. Again, that's why you have to be true to you. But if it's messier than many places, if it's messier than necessary, and especially when the mess comes from the top down, that's very hard to deal with. When it's merely your colleagues, it's like, oh, okay, I can close my door for that. But when it's an administrator, they're going to play petty games. They're going to switch grades. They're going to do, a whole lot of things that are just messy and unnecessary in the name of whatever they may think is right. But how do you know where they're going? You can't have a conversation with them because they lie, So for that reason, it's important that you kind of move on and find a more respectable fit for yourself. But anyway, let me get to work doing all this other stuff. I think after work, I want to stop by Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, I already got a box of some of my dossier. I think I got like 4 fragrances that I added on, but there are some fragrances dossier doesn't have that I'm interested in. And then lo and behold, I see this thing where Bed Bath & Beyond is now entering into the perfume dupe game. So I think after work, I'm going to have to see what they're talking about and smell up on something. But anyway, that's after work. Right now, Kymberly, get to work. Good Wednesday morning. I did not close out the vlog. When we last talked, I said I was going to go to Bed and Bath. And I did. I smelled some of the fragrances. I think they had like 10. But by the time I got there, they were down to 5 that I smelled. And it was, I don't know what Bed and Bath is calling it, but they had Delena and Prada. Ooh, Prada started with a P. It's not Prodigy, but for some reason that's locked in my brain. But anyway, they had those fragrances, and I really almost got that Prada. They had a special too. I think it's buy 3, get 3 free, but they cost like $19 a bottle, which isn't bad because I'm gonna tell you, my cheat code for it is, I rub a little, and I'm sure everyone does this. Lotion does okay. Like you hear people talk about the combination of the EOS and whatever fragrance. I do like that, surprisingly. I'm telling you, my sense of smell, I feel like it might be changing. I haven't even had COVID that I know of so far, knock wood. But they talk about that, mixing, putting the lotion on and then spraying those points. But what I find works better and gives like the body sprays and even the dossiers fragrances that might not normally last long, a little more longevity is a little Aquaphor or Vaseline in those areas. Plus, it gives you a nice little glow. And honey, we need all the cheats, right? But I find that when I use that and spray it on top of that, that makes my fragrance last. I'm still not big on layering, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that if you do. But typically when I buy a fragrance, it's because I like that fragrance and I don't mind how it mixes with my own chemistry. And I do get a lot of compliments on smells. So I haven't really delved into the, ooh, I'm going to mix this and that. And, you know, if you're looking for me to articulate all of that, this ain't that girl. But yeah, I definitely got that. And I'll tell you what else I did with my petty self. Since I didn't film right before I went to bed, I was really bugged about that whole Sam's Club and the chicken sandwiches. I was right. My petty self went through a couple of videos. Luckily, it didn't take me much. I was like, what was I wearing? And what was I talking about? I think I talked about the couple at Walmart, narrowed it right down, found the video, so I wasn't tripping. No, I'm not. My petty might be a little petty, but I be right about it. I be right. Anywho, not much else is going on. Later on today, I'm gonna, and you know what? And let me go back to the fragrances too. So the reason I didn't pull the trigger and buy it then was because, like I said, I had already bought some Dossier fragrances. I had gone to Target. I don't really count the Sam's Club stuff because, you know, that's like grocery hauling and that's pretty necessary. Although I did get flowers, but that's necessary too for my mental, okay? And bought all the Target stuff, which, oh, I need to try those on. They are still literally sitting in bags, which is almost okay. Because in my mind, that the clothes I got are kind of beachy, summery. They definitely work for spring. But the weather we've been having hasn't been springing. So I can take my time, well, because you do have a certain window to return if it doesn't fit. But I know I like the way all of it looks, so that's all I need to try on, just to see if it's a matter of it fitting or not. This is my little chlorophyll that I like to put in my water. They say it's a whole bunch of health benefits to it. The print is too small for me to read. I got this off of Amazon. I'll put a few drops in here. I will say this particular brand, has a slight minty flavor to it, which I don't mind at all in my water. And I'll tell you what else. I think it makes, like when I go, I think it makes it smell a lot better. It makes it not really smell, if I'm being honest. So you know what? When I tell you my sh don't stink, you know what can I say? Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but only a scotch. Like for real, it really does cut down on that. So yeah, I'm gonna claim it. My sh don't stink. Whatever. Anywho, talking so much trash, I'm gonna have to mix it in. But anyway, that is about it. Just kind of wanted to check in. And if I have time, I think I will go ahead and drop by and pick up, especially the Prada scents. Maybe even Prada and Delana knockoffs. What they're really called, I don't know. When I know, I'll tell you. But definitely getting that. And like I said, it was 3, buy 3, get 3 free. And then they also had, maybe it was buy 2, get 1 free. Either way, not so bad, $19, and with my Aquaphor making it last, I think I'm gonna get it. But I like to make sure I'm not doing too much impulsive buying. That's what I was talking about before, because I'd already bought the Target stuff and all of that. And I remember, like, when the pandemic first dropped, I was seeing the Amazon truck multiple times in a given day, and I lived on a cul-de-sac at that time. And then I found myself starting to buy more stuff. And I thought, no, baby, do you really want it, or are you getting it because you're bored? I think I really want that. You know, I don't mind sitting on a decision for a little bit. It's not expensive either, so I could have just picked it up immediately. That's not the thing. It's not the money factor. It's the I want to make sure that I'm being responsible and not just impulsively buying a bunch of stuff factor. But, you know, the fact that I'm thinking about it days later or a day or two later, that just tells me, yeah, you should probably go back and get that. No harm, no foul. And then I'm definitely going to try on those Target clothes, make sure they fit, make sure I want to keep them and things like that. And for the weight that I am now, like I bought 1 or 2 tops in an XL just because, you know, my little so-called try-on, I hold it up to me and I like to hold it on the sides. And if I feel like the sides don't hit my middle just right or with a little extra room to breathe, then I don't feel like that's going to fit, because I want it to definitely fit with the girls and all of that. So need to try it on. Extra large, might be too large, we'll find out. But luckily, at the time that I went anyway, there was an abundance of those. So if I need to trade down, I can. Tons of XXL. I don't know who is wearing XXL. That need to be over in the children's department or something. Speaking of which, I did see, yeah, because y'all know I'll shop at child's department in a minute. I don't have no problem shopping in the children's department. But I did see very similar, like I got a sleeveless sweater and I saw one in the children's department. So I was like, oh, I might as well get that. No, it was $1 cheaper in the children's department, but that wouldn't have been enough anyway, because the threading on the sweater that I got has a little hint of gold flecks and all of that. That's not in the children's department. I was like, for $1 more, nobody should be getting this. Not even me. Yeah, she a teacher. She buys stuff on the budget, but some things are just worth it. Anywho, as usual, I'm running my mouth. Let me get to work, and I'll talk to y'all later. All right, I'm finally taking these clothes out of the Target bag, and I figure I'll show you some of what I've got. If you want to see how I put it together, please make sure you check out my mini Target haul coming to you soon. But in the meantime, I want to close out the vlog by thanking you for opting to spend a little time with me. I don't take that for granted at all. I understand you could be anywhere else, spending time with anyone else, and you chose to be here with me. Thank you so much. If you'd like to hang out more and you haven't already done so, please consider hitting the subscribe button, the like button, the notification, all the YouTubey things. And until next time, take care.